What is up, Jackson? We're here. It's been a minute. I don't think I've been on since Friday. Life comes at you. You gotta work. Holiday weekend. I didn't want to bother y'all with my voice. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Plus, I was enjoying the days off. Worked yesterday. Been off today. Got my carpet cleaned, so it's been a long day. Moving furniture sucks, especially when you're not moving, which I don't guess that's always a bad thing. We're going to talk about a few things tonight. I got a lot to talk about. I didn't make any notes. I got a few websites pulled up, a few stories I want to discuss. I'm going to open with a couple things. We'll give everybody a minute to get in here. Crystal will be in here in a second. She's going to do the show with me tonight. It's a million times better when Crystal was involved. So having an awesome wife to help do the show is never a bad thing. How's everybody doing tonight? Look, y'all do me a favor. Please hit share on this thing. Please hit share. Hit like, hit share. It does as much or more than like a financial donation. If you've never been able to donate financially, the likes and shares, especially the shares, they do as much or more for this page than anything else you can do. So please do that if you don't mind. I'm about to do the same here. I'll let everybody give it just a minute to get in here. I just got a late text message right as I was going live about something I definitely want to talk about. I grilled tonight, so I'm just exhausted. I'm full. In a pretty good mood, if I must say so myself. Let me get this shared to our group and to my personal page. And we were going to jump straight in. I quit doing the live music before the show. Got tired of having to edit it out to reshare it later on Facebook. So, one more thing here and we're jumping in. Should be less than 20 seconds. Share now, public. Boom. Let's get it. So, this morning, I shared a picture of the old 930 Blues Club. Then, a buddy of mine, who's a JPD officer, posted a picture of what it, I guess he Googled it, maybe a Google Street View, of what it looked like, what I thought was now. But it wasn't. Anyway, it was in terrible shape. Looked like the house from The Burbs, the old Tom Hanks movie from the 80s. Or one of our followers posted, it looked like the fraternity house and Animal House. It looked terrible. Anyway, I did a side-by-side, then and now photo. And I said, welcome to Chokwe's Jackson. Man, you would have thought that I talked bad about that man's family. The way some of you guys and girls reacted to that. It is Chokwe's Jackson. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? That it's not? He's the mayor. He hires all the city heads of the departments. They're his administration. If something's wrong with America, we blame Trump or Obama or Clinton or whoever the president is. Bush. So if something's wrong with Jackson, it's Chokwe's Jackson. So the same people who have been butthurt about that all day are what I'm learning are the same people who supported Chokwe not meeting with President Trump when he came to town, having a separate press conference, throwing a hissy fit, crying. Why is he here? He's a racist. Get out of my city. It's disrespectful to be at our museums. The same people who supported them shenanigans are the same ones who say, Clay, you shouldn't be so negative. You should try to figure out a way to work with the mayor. Well, first off, I'm not a politician. It's not my job to work with the mayor's office. I'm not a contractor trying to get a bid with the city. I'm none of those things. I'm just a citizen who's sick and tired of living in a city that looks like it's been bombed out like 1980s Beirut. Elections have consequences. And a lot of you guys voted for this crew of folks. And I can appreciate you defending them, but at some point, it's like when you're in business and you make a bad hire. If you've ever been in business for more than a week, you've made a bad hire. It happens. It's part of it. You got to be long to hire, quick to fire, as they say. Do your homework, make sure you're hiring the right person. And if you didn't, you got to cut bait. Move on. So, you know what? My bad. On to the next one. It ain't you, it's me. Sometimes it just isn't a good fit. It doesn't mean they're a bad person, you're a bad boss, they're a bad employee, you're a bad boss. Sometimes it just ain't a good fit. I don't personally think dude's a bad guy. I mean, I know some people that know him, and I know a couple of his frat brothers. I'm never going to attack the man personally. I don't care. That's not what I do here. But I will attack folks professionally. If you're doing a bad job and that bad job affects my way of life, then I got a problem. Like you all should.
Somebody said, what happened to them rebuilding Ferris Street?
That ain't happening. Let me just tell you. I mean, look, it may, but it will end up being all private money when it does. Mm-hmm. Somebody is going to have to buy Ferris Street and say, screw the historical, the Department of Archives and History, that grant money and all that stuff. If Ferris Street gets done, it is going to have to be private funds. They're going to have to buy the buildings from the city or state or whoever it is that owns it. I can't remember. I want to say it's the city owns the buildings. Or maybe it's the Department of Archives and History. Mm-hmm. I haven't looked into that in a while. Jackson Redevelopment Authority, also known as JRA, they're over all that. I ran into one of the men that's on the board when I was down there doing some pictures not too long ago. Had a great conversation with him. He was really positive about it. But honestly, they've been really positive about that thing for 20 years. I'm not. But I wish them all the best. I hope it does. I mean, I hope they get that done before I'm too old to ever want to go to a bar again. I'm about this close. This close. I haven't been in a while. Much more COVID closures, and COVID is gonna beat me right out of ever going to another public bar. The juice sometimes isn't worth the squeeze. But I just, the amount of people that got offended. And then somebody on my Instagram, a guy that I've known for about 15 years.
I have to get my phone charger.
There's one sitting over there on the couch.
Okay.
A man that I've known for about 15 years on my Instagram got on there and was like, but one of our followers said something about the Trump comparison that I made. And he goes, oh yeah, Clay, your true colors are coming out. You used to own bars. Why don't you buy it and do something with it? Well, yeah, man, because it's not my property. Somebody owns it, and it's their responsibility to keep it clean, or it's the city's responsibility, if it's going back to them, to keep it clean and put a clean. So there's a lien they can put on the property and charge the property owner. Mm-hmm. So and it's not just 930 Blues Club. It's probably half the property in Jackson. And it got me to thinking. It got me and Crystal to talking. So we understand that there are a lot of people who end up with property. Like, we have a family member, and it's a property we went and looked at this evening. Mm-hmm. And we may try to take it over from the family member because it's sitting there in the same type situation that the 930 Blues is in. To kind of, A, to keep it in the family, B, to keep it cleaned up, and C, to prove a point to some people. So we understand. There's people who end up with property who didn't ask for it. They inherited it. Whatever the case may be. They just don't know what to do with it. It's been robbed. It's been stripped of every piece of copper in it. Mm-hmm. And they're paying taxes.
Every window is broken out.
Every window. I mean, And this is just the one piece of property I know of. But we saw 10 others in the same neighborhood. And it's a lot of Jackson. And so it did get me to thinking. I'm not going to say I'm changed my mind on it. I still think the city needs to do their job and hold property owners accountable, even if that property owner is a family member. Because I think the high tide raises all ships. You know, the city needs to be the high tide, raising all the ships, not making excuses for the ships and the low tide and the garbage and the trash and everything else. And right now it's just like, well, it's deeper rooted reasons why. Da, 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 da. You know, I said what I said. It's Chokwe's Jackson. The city does not enforce their code laws. They do not enforce their property code violations. If your yard hadn't been cut, they don't give a damn. If you have broke down cars in your yard, they don't give a damn. If you have soliciting out front of your convenience store that sells meth pipes with roses stuck in them, chalets, they don't give a damn. If you have people drinking open containers in front of your gas station that sells meth pipes with rose pipes and people outside, and they're out there drinking with open containers, they don't give a damn. But they did give a damn the other night when when about 1,000, let's just say Jackson residents, college students in Jackson, had a big party in the middle of a parking lot out off Dixon Road, and they weren't masked up and following the typical liberal agenda. I had a buddy of mine, I'm not going to say his name, don't want to drag him into our politics or nothing like that. A guy I've known for 20-something years, used to be a nightclub owner, owned some rental property back there. Mm-hmm. He hit me up, he sent it to me. And this is a guy that I kind of go back and forth with. I mean, we are friends and we're allowed to disagree. Let me get that out there. And it would do us all a lot better if we could just disagree. Anyway, without going down that rabbit hole. He hit me up. He's like, hey, Clay, have you seen this? I said, man, I heard about it a little earlier, but I had not had a chance to look into it. It was yesterday. Mm-hmm. And it was the video of the party going on down there on Dixon Road. And I said, dude, I'll be honest with you. It was mostly all African Americans. I said, dude, I don't care. I don't care who it is down there. And for the record, my friend that was messaging me, black dude here in Jackson, you know, he said, no. He goes, that's not why I'm messaging. He's like, they're not supposed to be there having that. I said, don't you own a couple rental houses back there? He's like, yes, I own some property back there. And he was aggravated that they had just chose to have a pop-up party on his street, basically. Mm-hmm. And I get that, because we've got some neighbors up the road here on our street that have more parties than we do. I'm really just jealous, but I get it. People get to parking on your property. There's liability issues and all that. Property owners understand these things, you know? And, it's frustrating. It brings down the value of the real estate around you, just like the abandoned property and burned out houses and burned out bars and buildings and everything else. Bring down the value of the houses and property around you. Thank you, Tommy. It is a nice shirt. It was a Save Jackson original. So look, I guess I say all that to say, when I was watching the video today on YouTube, and look, I recommend all y'all do this. This is where I get so much of my content from. Go to YouTube and just search Jackson, Mississippi. You would be amazed at what's on there. It blows my mind, the stuff I see on there. And so there were two versions of this story. WAPT, kudos to APT, they did a really good job with this story. Well, as far as the covering the actual people there in the videos, and JPD showed up and shut the DJ down and set up roadblocks and all that, over mask, which is scary as hell. Scary as hell that they would do that. But at least WAPD was down there. They got some great footage. And if you do any of this kind of stuff, going down there and getting that kind of footage with a crowd of partygoers can be scary. Or a pain in the ass anyway. I don't know if scary is the word. But so anyway, kudos to WAPT. Great job. I didn't like the lean of the story, making it all about COVID. JSU released a statement, and I missed the tail end of it, but I think they were going to punish students if they were able to confirm that any of the students were JSU students. Why? Who cares? Who cares if they were any of the JSU? Quit blowing this out of proportion. Anyway, we're not going to go down a COVID rabbit hole tonight. It's not what I'm here for. There was something else that just came to mind that I was fired up about that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I'll remember it in a second. So let me see. It was. I'll get back to it. I'll remember it in a second. But
Did you talk about the severed head?
I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm going to. So 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Yes.
Hold on. I'm having a brain spasm here. There was something I was going to talk about. Yes, I want to hit this first.
Okay.
It falls in line with JPD going and harassing that party, which I really, at the end of the day, I don't like. You know, unless they were don't break it up over mask and social distancing. Break it up because they're not where they're supposed to be.
Right.
Okay, got that out of the way. So I was out riding today. I was going to save this for tomorrow, but you never know when you're going to do another show. You know, it could be 3 or 4 days. It could be tomorrow. I rode around downtown. And who remembers what July 8th was? Does anybody remember what happened July 8th in Jackson, Mississippi? It was a big national story. Stokes, Chokwe, the rest of the city council, they were all patting themselves on the back. They did a great job. They were so proud of themselves. Does anybody here in the comments remember what happened July 8th in Jackson, Mississippi? I'm just going to watch the comments here. Rob, thank you, brother. And I just want to see for 1 second, can anybody tell me what happened July 8th, 2 months ago in Jackson, Mississippi? Okay, I can't wait. I'll tell you what happened. They voted to remove the Andrew Jackson statue.
In front of City Hall.
From in front of City Hall. Guess what is still up in front of City Hall?
Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson statue. All that hoopla for the Andrew Jackson statue, which, if you've been watching this show, I'm on record, and me and my wife do not agree on this. The statue stuff doesn't bother me.
It does me.
If they're gone, they're gone. If they're not, they're not. I am a fan of history. I'd rather see them stay. But they're not going to be my hill to die on. I don't care if Andrew Jackson stays or goes personally. Won't change my day-to-day life. None. Honestly, I have a lot of African-American friends, and if it bothers them, cool, man. Make it go away. I don't care. Not my hill to die on. With that said.
Look, I don't have a lot of African-American.
I'm not saying you don't. With that said. July tied the record books at the time for the deadliest month in the history of Jackson, Mississippi. Do you know what month it tied with? 2 months prior with April. Or 3 months prior. With April of 2020. 14 murders in April. 14 murders in July. They were the 2 deadliest months in the history of the city. Fast forward 1 more month to August. The new deadliest month in the history of the city with 15 murders. Not a word, not a peep, other than the mayor did a press conference the other day and blamed it on friends and family getting aggravated with each other and killing one another.
Somebody said, are they going to change the name of the city? If not, why remove the statue?
They said they were going to change the meaning of the city. Basically, they were going to find some alternative facts to that Jackson meant. An alternative definition to the word Jackson. And I think they found some foreign weirdo version of it where it meant faith, love, hope, happiness. I don't care. It was named after Andrew Jackson. I mean, you can't change that. That's history. That's fact. Move on. You know, it is what it is. We've respelled it. It's like, even the city spells it JXN now. Look at their Mask Up Jackson campaign. It's JXN on all the billboards. So, I guess my point is this, if I have one.
Somebody said, I feel like it should be moved to a museum.
I don't have a problem with that. I wish they would. I wish they would move into a museum. But look, neither here nor there. They made this big hoopla about what they were doing for Black lives and the black people in Jackson by removing that statue that offended so many people. Mm-hmm. If it offends you, I'm not here to argue what it offends. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm here to say it's still there, and we've had two of the deadliest months in the history of the city since they said they were going to move it.
Well,
it's a bunch of do-nothing-ass Democrats leading our city.
They don't even know what they're doing, first of all. And they've been tearing down statues of, like Abraham Lincoln.
Yep.
And people like that actually fought against slavery. And there's plenty of white people that died fighting to end slavery.
Yep.
So, there's that.
Mm-hmm. So, and look, and we can have a whole conversation about the meaning of the statues and all that down the road, and I'm all for that, and I love that kind of stuff. And look, I'm a history buff. I think they all should stay, but again, most of them you would be safer going to see if they were in a museum than in some of the places they're at. Sadly, but true. But with that said, the statue's still there. Mm-hmm. They made a big hoopla about it, and then they do shit about it. And then, meanwhile, the city is crumbling from beneath our feet in murder, potholes, infrastructure, water or lack thereof. So I don't know, man. Let's see. Clay, do you honestly ever think money is going to come back into the city of Jackson? I moved to Houston, and it's the best move I ever made. There are bad areas, no doubt, but overall, the people in the area want the economy to do well. When I went to finance school, F&I school. It was in Houston at the Woodlands. Man, blown away at how cool that was. I stayed in the W Hotel, I think it was. The guy that I worked for at the time owned the hotel. And the big office building across the street. They had a, what's that fancy health food grocery store that we have in Jackson?
Whole Foods?
Whole Foods. They had a Whole Foods with the best craft beer selection I've ever had in Houston. And I went all around it, man. It's Toyota. Their American operations are based out of Houston with Gulf South Toyota or whatever it's called. Anyway, Gulf Coast Toyota. That don't sound right. Anyway, Toyota's American operations are based out of Houston in the port there. And I mean, look, it's where I would like to live. If I ever moved out of Jackson, Houston is absolutely top one, top two.
I'd be on the beach.
I've thought about Nashville, but after listening to Clay Travis here, how their Democrat mayor is doing all he can to destroy Nashville and not let anything reopen this far into it all, I'm really weary about ever moving to another city with a Democrat supermajority.
You see what Rob said? 360,000 died, to be accurate.
I mean, look, this is going to sound bad. I don't want to get into all the semantics of it. But there's a really good chance that the better part of those 360,000 people were going to be dead from whatever they actually had to begin with anyway. The way they're reporting these COVID deaths.
No. He's talking about white people that died fighting for slavery.
Oh, slavery. I thought we were talking about COVID. I'm sorry.
No,
sorry.
Slavery. White people that died fighting.
Sorry. Yeah, man. A lot of people died fighting. Look, I don't want to get on the Civil War tonight. We can have a great whole conversation about that. Mm-hmm. One of our great Sunday conversation, long form Joe Rogan style shows, and we will have that conversation. Thank you. But while I'm talking about COVID deaths, not all of those are real COVID deaths. While a lot of them are, a lot of them aren't. But I did think it was important to mention that the city council and the mayor haven't done shit about that statue or the murders in Jackson. So, what have they done in the last 2 months?
Are we asking that they do something about the statue?
I know that sounds very confusing given my political stances that I would say do something about the statue. I'm just saying, you make a shit show about it, Do something about it. I mean, what do you? It's still there.
It should stay there.
I don't disagree, but I'm just saying.
The mayor should go away.
The mayor's going away. I have faith. I have faith that outside of the white liberals in Fondren, that the real Jacksonians are tired of the mayor's shit.
I hope.
The real Jacksonians, South Jackson, West Jackson, North Jackson. Y'all are tired of it like I am. How can you not be? Part 2 of our viral video series, Abandon America, Jackson, Mississippi, will be out here in the next 5 to 7 days. I want it to be the best thing I've ever done, video production wise. And
I live in Turner, so if you go, Crystal,
yeah. We've learned how to do so much video wise and what you guys like. If you've noticed in the last week, we've really gotten back to pictures of Jackson and not just political stuff. Mm-hmm. And I've seen thankfully Facebook offers a lot of analytics. Mm-hmm. And they show us what you guys like. You know, what race you are, what age you are, what gender you are. Well, male or female anyway. And what posts are the most popular? Where do you live? And what we see the most popular is you guys love the pictures of Jackson, the then and now kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we've really gotten back to that this week, and that's one of the reasons I hadn't done a show this week. Is I've been so focused on that when I'm not, I do have family commitments. I like spending time with Crystal on the other side of the camera. So, you know, we try to do those things too. And we had to get our carpet cleaned today. And that was a pain in the ass. But what was the name of that company? They did a great job. Do you know?
Oh, jeez. Yes, I can tell you. Hold on.
I just want to give some props. Not a paid advertisement. Just some props to a company that came and did some great work. If you're looking for get your carpet cleaned in the Tri-County area, these guys were as professional.
Grime Stoppers.
Grime Stoppers? Mm-hmm. Grime?
Yeah.
Grime Stoppers came and cleaned the carpet at the house today.
They did a good job.
Amazing. I mean, when I say professional, it was like when we went to Shapley's and ate the other night. Mm-hmm. It was just like, there's a lot of places that got great food, but then there's great service.
Mm-hmm. They were awesome. With
great food. Grime Stoppers was great service and great work. And it was just the whole experience. You couldn't pay me to give these guys a bad review. So this is my 5-star review right here for Grime Stoppers. Here, I don't know if they're based out of Jackson, but they're based out of the Tri-County area.
They're out of Jackson.
Crystal says they're out of Jackson. She's used them multiple times. So check them out, Grime Stoppers. Couldn't say enough good things. If you need your carpet cleaned, and what I felt was affordable. We got a 4,000 square foot 2-story house. Every room's not carpet, mind you, but
we did rugs.
We did rugs, did the stairway, did the atriums or foyers or whatever. Did a great job. Anyway, Grime Stoppers, check them out. I'll see if I can find their Facebook page, and I'll come back and add it into the comments later tonight. All right, so let's get into stupid criminals. I was at the gym at Byram. These are our sponsors. We love these guys. Check them out, thegymatbyram.com. Give them a call. Best gym in the area, especially south of I-20. There ain't nothing else. Well, there ain't another real gym. Mm-hmm. The Gym at Byram. Check them out, thegymatbyram.com. I was on the treadmill at the gym today, and they got a bunch of flat screen TVs in front of you. And I saw a buddy of mine, Glenn Dixon, up there. He's in Rankin County law enforcement. I forget his exact job title. And he was discussing two dummies. And I know no other way to say it. And if you have family, if they have family watching this show right now, slap one of them for me. Because little Pookie and little Ray Ray, they need it right now. 2 arrested after drone used to sneak drugs into prison. MDOC officials say. And they did this in Rankin County. And if you know one thing, you know not to F up in Rankin County or Madison County. This is not Hines County. You do not do that dumb shit here. There.
No.
You do it here. You don't do it there. Actually, I wouldn't do it in Hines County either. I got some buddies of mine that work at the jail in Hines County, and I know there's a lot to be said about Jackson and whatnot, but
No, you don't do
Big Sean and some of them cats and some of them guys who used to work for me at 105 get a hold of you. You go, it's a bad day at the office. Anyway, so let's read here. This is on WLBT.com. Pearl, Mississippi. 2 men are in jail accused of using a drone to sneak contraband into a prison. The incident happened at Central Mississippi Correctional Facility in Pearl. I mean, I digress. Mississippi Department of Corrections officials say 33-year-old John Ross and 18-year-old Joshua Corbin carried marijuana, a cell phone and charger and headphones and several cigarette lighters on a drone and tried to get the material over the prison fences. And they had a nice drone. I ain't gonna lie. Their drone is better than mine. They got the real deal.
Say hey to Glenn.
Is he on here? I see.
Hey, Glenn.
Okay, so instead the drone got stuck in the security nets above the facility's razor wire fences. Rankin County Sheriff's Officer identified Ross and Corbin as the suspects by tracking the drone's flight data and matching an address in Vicksburg where the drone had been used frequently. MDOC Commissioner Burl Kane, that's a badass name. Like, if somebody told me Burl Kane's ready to whoop your ass, I'd be like, man, how can me and Burl...
I'd be a little scared.
Can me and Burl work things out? Anyway, so Burl Kane said the drone has been confiscated by prison officials who are now using it for themselves.
To do what?
Snitch. What are they doing? They tried to use the drone to help their friends. Now it's going to help us. We're reprogramming their drone now to use at Parchman, so it's working for law enforcement instead of against it, Kane said. Man, look, it's a white kid and a black kid, and they look like they had a bad day at the office. They really do. One of them looks like Eminem, and the other one looks like Andre 3000 on meth. Oh, I don't know what to say other than bad day at the office. Man.
Congratulations, girl, Glenn.
Yeah, I guess my buddy Glenn had something to do with the arrest because, like I said, I saw him on. I couldn't hear it, but I saw Glenn, and Glenn grew up with us in South Jackson. I saw him on the TV talking about it. So more dumb criminals. 3 arrested in gun theft and auto burglaries in Rankin County. Again, another white kid and a black kid together. I love to see our races intermingling and doing things together. Preferably, it's not breaking the law together. Mm-hmm. But I do love the seeing past racial lines and stuff and doing things together in Rankin County, nonetheless. Mm-hmm. So breaking stereotypes every day. Anyway, again, this is by China Lee, WLBT digital content producer. After a string of auto burglaries, 3 have been arrested in Rankin County. Deputies say the trio's crime spree started Monday when they were called to a Braxton home where a gun was stolen. The caller said when he was meeting the prospective buyer, when the buyers arrived, they took off with the gun in a red sedan with paper license plates. Okay, so first off, as a car salesman, car dealer in Mississippi, we don't have paper license plates. If somebody has got a paper license plate on a car, that's a temporary tag, and those are not Mississippi. We do not do temporary tags in Mississippi for in-state residents. So, like, if we sell a car to somebody in Louisiana, Texas, wherever, we'll give them a temporary tag. But in Mississippi, there are no paper tags. There's just plastic dealership plates with our names on them. Mm-hmm. So those are not legit. The cops can pull you over at any point in time with that on. That is not a tag or a license plate. So I digress. While patrolling the area, deputies were able to locate the red car with the paper license plate parked at a home. A search warrant was executed on the car, and the residents and deputies were able to recover the stolen firearms. Kenneth Cooley, 18, Cameron Kennedy, 18, were taken into custody and transported to the Rankin County Jail. A juvenile male was also taken into custody and transported to Rankin County Juvenile Detention Center. So two 18-year-old adults and one minor were arrested. You can see their stuff on WLBT.com.
Did you see what Paul Bailey posted?
No, Paul posted much stuff.
He said we all love to hate the woman living across from Samantha. She wanted to catch that witch. I'm trying to figure out what we're talking about.
I see his post, but I'm not 100% sure what he's talking about.
I don't know.
Yeah, Shannon, it was a DJI drone. Shannon says flight data means it was a DJI, which literally tracks your flight data and updates it with the FAA. Yep, Shannon, it was definitely a DJI. It was the big one. I forget which one. It's the big one with the 4 legs. He's seen on WLBT.
Oh, Gracie's watching. Tell Gracie hey.
Gracie, hey. How you doing, sweetie? Yeah, somebody said, Shannon says Rankin County and the FAA a big oof. My buddy Salento Rhodes, he's policeman in Rankin County. He says we are still laughing about them at the department. Salento, thank you for your hard work, brother. Me and Salento sold cars together when I first got in the car business at Great Angels Ford back in 2011. So, let's see. So we're on the Jackson Jambalaya, one of my favorite websites. We're a supporter of theirs, like some of you guys are a supporter of us. I'm just checking to see. Oh, yes. One of the other things I wanted to talk about today. The Canton Flea Market was on. It was going to happen. And then the mayor of Canton stepped in, a Democrat, shocker, and canceled it. You know, of course, because of COVID. Because COVID is going to put more minority-owned businesses out of business than any racist ever could.
Right.
More small business and minority-owned businesses are going to go away because of Democrat leaders blaming it on COVID than anything else that could ever happen. Than any boogeyman president could ever attempt to do. Is going to be done from within. So, with that said, the mayor of Canton, it's like a pissing match between the Democrat city mayors in this state. You have Chokwe here. You have the mayor of Canton. Truly is an idiot. I mean, somebody had to say it.
Yeah.
And then, the rest of them are just scattered around. But these are the two I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
I actually respect some of the others. The mayor of Vicksburg, he does what he has to do. Political party aside. And then there's some others, you know, between in what we call Western Hines County there, that do their thing. So no knock. But the mayor of Canton and the mayor of Jackson have been in a pissing match of hold my beer. Let me see how much I can do to hurt my people more.
Chad Stevenson says, Nissan Family Day, which is a small state fair, is canceled because of COVID. We can gather to work every day daily, but we can't gather to have a good time.
Yeah, you know, and it goes back to the same thing with Walmarts and Kroger's and everything else. You can do all that, but you can't do anything else. You know, it's like I was telling Crystal yesterday. I said, I can't believe that I haven't seen anything about Sturgis, the big bike rally in Sturgis being a super spreader. Well, I might as well have been typing up the story myself as I was saying it. Because 20 minutes later, Sturgis bike rally, super spreader, 250,000 nationwide cases linked back to Sturgis. Bullshit. Fake news. South Dakota, North Dakota, whichever one it is. Only 140 cases there. 250,000 cases didn't come from 140. Didn't happen.
Right.
And of course, they say that like every one of those is a death. Mm-hmm. Let's just pretend that, yes, 10,000 people were there. They took back 10,000 cases of COVID across the country, and it spread. I get how the super spreader conspiracy theory works. But where was that energy? Where was that same energy about super spreaders when BLM is burning down cities? I don't recall it.
Michael Applewhite says there will be 1,000 engagements canceled this year during the City of Lights in Canton. People getting
Oh yeah. Yeah, so the city, the Canton Christmas. So what Michael's talking about, the Canton Christmas every year, the City of Lights.
Clay didn't, he didn't.
I woke Crystal up on the couch one night. I was like, "You want to get married?" Like, yeah. Back to sleep. Next morning, I was like, "Hey, yo, we're engaged." Oh, anyway. So City of Lights, Canton. Lots of engagements happen there in front of that big, what's that thing called? Gazebo.
Yeah.
Every year. I'm always curious to see like how many of those actually made it to marriage, because you always see way more engagements than you do way more engagement ring pictures than you do actually wedding photos on Facebook. So I'm always curious to see what the real numbers are of people that got married, that got engaged around the holidays. It's like, no, you just got her a ring. Y'all didn't actually get engaged. So it's like, this will shut her up for a few months. I know how guys think. That's not what I did. I followed through. We got married.
Think that.
We got married. I followed through. So, let's see.
Somebody said that's how romantic I was to my wife 40 years ago and still going.
Hell yeah, William. Oh, so let's jump into the JXN Uncensored group. This is not going to be for the faint of heart. This is our Facebook group, and it is pretty much anything goes in here. I'm just going to kind of run through and see if there's been anything interesting, local, posted.
Michael said, I'll Photoshop you there.
I'm pretty sure Jason Boyd just got banned from Facebook.
For what? What did he do?
He'll just have to go look in the group and see.
I'm not. Okay.
He just sent me a post. He was pretty sure he's been retired from Facebook. Anyway, we'll get back to that. I love Jason. He pisses somebody. I love anybody that so willfully can piss people off like he does. He has a knack that even I am jealous of.
Nice.
So Facebook's not letting me go more than about 2 posts down in the group. But if you're not a member of JXN Uncensored, it has been a blast lately, in all the worst ways of a good time. So let's recap. We're not gonna be a long show tonight. We got started a little late. It's already 10:15.
We started talking about my family's property.
Yeah, Crystal's family property. We're going to attempt to help revive that and put our money where our mouths are, or our efforts where our mouths are. This is, anytime I post a picture of an abandoned property that looks like shit, this is Chokwe's Jackson. If we had the code enforcement officers doing their jobs like they're supposed to, I would at least feel better about knowing the city was doing what they were supposed to do. But there's not a single abandoned piece of shit property in this town, excuse my language, that they're doing anything about. Mainly because they own most of it. And they're doing nothing about their own property. I know for a fact we keep general labor guys on staff, on the payroll, oh yes, thank you, Michael. We're going to mention that in a second. On staff, on the payroll for the city, they can go cut grass, clean up, do crap like that. You're already paying them. Why do they have to? Why can't they go do something? Can somebody explain that to me? Can somebody tell me, do we not have a crew of general laborers working for the city? They can go cut the grass, clean up. What about the Napoleon's talked in length about this, so I don't want to step on his toes. But what about the prisoner cleanup program in Hinds County, where they go and they clean up? You know, you ride through Rankin County, and you see women, everybody, orange jumpsuits, cleaning up, humbling themselves. Working. You don't see that in Jacktown. A, because we don't have a jail. It's Hinds County. You know, so it's not Hinds County's job to clean Jackson. I get it. But can't y'all figure something out? For the benefit of everybody. Figure something out to get the guys out there doing nothing to help clean up Jackson. Surely there's a compromise to be made.
Rob said that died with Sheriff McMillan.
It did. I know it died. It died with McMillan. Hinds
Totally
County
agree.
Sheriff's Department died with McMillan. It is a shell of its former self. And we were going to have Spooner on Sunday and realized it was Labor Day weekend. Postponed it. We're going to have Richard Spooner on here soon. And we were going to discuss the Hinds County Sheriff's Department
Tell Tanya we always pay taxes.
in depth. Well, Tanya knows we pay taxes. She's just telling everybody. Tanya's one of our best supporters.
Yeah.
She's not talking to us.
We pay taxes.
She's not talking to us. Yeah, everybody pay your taxes. It goes a long way. I pay way more than I want to. So Spooner's actually watching. Spooner says the county farm used to have crews running every day. I know. And when I can't wait to get Spooner on here and talk about that in detail. And where did all these programs go? Why are we not doing them now? We're still sending people out there at max rate, except violent criminals. You know, they're Tommy Green letting them bond right out. That's another story for another day. You know, but we're gonna have to do something about that. So look,
But there's lots of people that own land in Jackson. I think that would like to do something with it, but don't really know what to do.
Yep. Okay, so I got something fun here. We're gonna start landing this plane. One of our good friends of the show, and I use that word sarcastically. I do not think he likes us.
Who?
Kelsey Johnson.
Okay.
Kelsey works for no. Gut Bucket.
Okay.
Kelsey.
I know who we're talking about.
Kelsey.
Archie.
Yep. Kelsey works for Archie. Kelsey posted on Facebook, there will be a Trump boat parade on the Ross Barnett Reservoir this Saturday at 12. Everyone is invited. BLM will be on the waters. Trump boat parade on Reservoir this weekend. So, look. Everybody go enjoy the reservoir.
Who cares?
If there's a Trump boat parade, it just feels very confrontational when you say BLM and Trump boat parade together. I'm just saying. I mean, this is Madison. Well, I guess it could be Rankin County too. It's on both.
Depends on where you're at.
Yeah, it depends on what side of the water you're on. Man, I just people don't want that smoke, do they?
No.
You don't want that smoke. That's bad smoke outside of Jackson. That is bad smoke. Don't want that smoke. Boat lives matter. Man, absolutely. Look,
That's so stupid.
don't do anything stupid. You know, did Trump supporters show up to the BLM protest? And I want to be very kind here about the Jackson BLM protest. They were protests by your actual definition. No violence, no looting. That's what a protest is supposed to be. And we argue and we go back and forth with each other. But I'm going to call a spade and give props. The Jackson BLM protest for the George Floyd stuff went as smooth as it possibly could. And that's how you're supposed to protest. That is our right as Americans to be able to protest. The Trump boat parade, no different. We call it a protest, whatever you want to. Political rally. Do it peacefully, roll on. If that's what them folks want to go out there and do, let them do it. I'm not saying don't go out there and protest it. That's your right. But just know that you may get that smoke in Madison County. That's asking for a lot. They sit back.
I'm not going to say a damn word.
A lot of those, keep in mind, is all I'm saying, is a lot of those guys, they sit back at the house, flipping through American Sniper, jerking off to Leopold scopes and guns and everything else, just waiting, hoping and praying that an MFer would. That's all I'm saying. Take it for what it's worth. Keep it peaceful. Because there's a bunch of crazy people who have watched a whole lot of news the last 4 or 5 months and are itching to feel like they can claim self-defense.
Somebody said Kenneth Stokes told me on a few occasions black folks gonna mess everything up and needed white folks to help them. He meant stonewalling. He meant political sabotage in the name of punishing white America.
Well, there's a good point to be made for that. There's a lot of course, I can't believe Stokes would say it because he's one of the main cheerleaders of those.
Say it, but okay.
Cheerleaders of those kind of shenanigans. But I'm telling you, as a lifelong white South Jacksonian, man, we have never had a problem with anyone of another race. Ever. Never been like that. Any problem we have ever had has been with white liberals and their bullshit. And it's on a national level now. And you see it. I watched something the other day, and look, I know it was on the internet, it was on YouTube, but it was from a pretty reputable, somebody I consider a reputable source. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about how white liberals no longer consider black a color. It's a state of mind now. That's why when they run up in restaurants telling other white people to raise the fist to BLM, it is not a race thing to them anymore. It is black is a state of mind. White is a state of mind to them.
Well, Corey says, we don't have a skin problem.
We don't.
In this country, we have a sin problem.
Yep. We also have one of the biggest problems in this country right now. It is being twisted and sold to us as a race problem. It is a college-educated versus not college-educated against each other problem. I firmly believe that the college-educated crew are very upset that guys like us, street-smart people good with our hands, people who can sell, people who didn't have to go to college to make $100,000 a year, $80,000 a year, whatever it is, with no student debt, they're pissed off and they've had enough of us being able, they go and spend 4 years in college and get $200,000 in debt, $300,000, whatever it is, to go be a lawyer, and spend the first 5-6 years of their career in the mailroom somewhere, making $20,000 a year, if that. They're pissed off that people like us can go spend 3 or 4 years making $20,000 a year, have no debt, and come out of that learning a career, learning a trade, and moving on. And they hate that those same people typically end up voting conservative.
So Rob says, there's thousands of Bubbas just needing some high-grade cream for their itch. Haha, but you're 100% right about their white liberal being the biggest dang problem.
It is, man. And when I say white liberal, I don't necessarily mean Democrat. There's a difference to me. A moderate Democrat and a conservative way more alike than the media ever wants us to admit. And I had a great conversation with a guy last week about it. You know, I was like, man, we're so much more alike when we meet in the middle like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like, I lean a little right, you lean a little left, but we're way more in this gray area. But you have these people on the far right and these people on the far left that everybody thinks speaks for everybody in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's a gray.
there is. The gray is much larger.
That's where most everybody lives, is in the gray.
Yep. So, I don't know, man. I can go on and on. I listen. Look, obviously the content that I consume, even the stuff I consider middle ground, is right of center. If you're not listening to Jason Whitlock, I highly recommend it. Tim Pool, Joe Rogan. And Joe's not necessarily a great politician or, you know, gets into that, but his guests are great. If you're not watching, I think you can learn a lot from Joe Rogan's guest. Discover some really interesting people and some different point of views that aren't extreme one way or the other, but just intelligent.
Paul says society cannot reward civil disobedience as part of representing any kind of self-proclaimed cultural revolution.
Agreed. And we're doing that. We're rewarding people. You look at cities like Portland.
Jeez.
You know, and it's like,
I can't even.
Is that not, does a situation like what's going on in Portland not completely define exactly what I just said about white liberalism hijacking a movement like BLM and saying it ain't about being black. Black is a state of mind, not a color. Well, I'm pretty confident that most African Americans would argue with you about black being a color, not a state of mind. And the atrocities that have happened to them because of their color.
Well, what do we call white people? I mean, I don't know. It's just, what do you call people at some point? African Americans, black people.
Well, Adam Curry on the Joe Rogan show had a great acronym, and I forget the exact things, so I'll have to look it up and share it later. But it was like Americans of
color.
No, it was Americans of slavery, Americans of slavery descent of slavery, or something like that.
And we think that's a good idea.
It was a great analogy because he was saying that there's Americans who are from slavery descent versus people like Kamala Harris, who technically are part black, but are by no means from slavery descent. It was really interesting. I don't want to butcher it and get into it right now. Watch the most recent Joe Rogan with Adam Curry. It came out yesterday. 3 hours long. You know, sit down, pour you a couple beers, watch it over a couple days. It really opened my mind up to some things that I had not considered before. You know.
Yeah.
And Adam is not left wing. You know, so let me get that straight. We're talking about Adam Curry from MTV back in the day. He used to host the Headbangers Ball with the big perm or mullet, but he's turned into like a super tech conspiracy theorist. Just really smart guy. It's good to hear other points of view.
Sure.
You know, and then you kind of take all that and shuffle it together because a lot of us, you know, that aren't self-made millionaires have to work every day. You know, so we don't get to spend all day exploring other points of views. We kind of go run the Jackson Jambalaya, or run the WWT, or run the Breitbart, or InfoWars, or CNN, or whatever.
Is talking about me. She said she's from slavery descent. Her family owned slaves.
Who did?
Jennifer McManus.
So yours did?
Mm-hmm.
Did they?
No, my family was slaves.
Well, are you sure?
They didn't own them.
She's not talking about you. She's talking about Kamala Harris.
Oh, well, okay.
Well, she don't even know you.
I don't know. Well, she can look me up.
Kamala Harris's family did own slaves.
Okay.
So, go over there. Get off my show. It's my show now.
Jesus.
No, I'm kidding. We've been having a good time today. So look, We can go on and on about
Jennifer
these.
said Kamala. Yeah.
Yep. So look, we can go on and on about this stuff all day, but at the end of the day, we have got to vote for change in Jackson. We've got to vote to stay the same in Washington, at least in this house. And look, if you guys, so something I've run into the last couple of days that I hadn't talked about is the more we do this show, the more people recognize me when I'm out and about. And I will sit down and talk to a brick wall. So please just talk to me if you see me, especially if you disagree with me. But just be cool about it. Like, hey, yo, Clay, I watched the show. I followed the page. You said something that I don't agree with. Well, let's talk about it. There's a good chance that we can probably find some common ground. I was somewhere today and just somebody just was staring at me the whole time I was there. And it was the most uncomfortable thing. But I didn't want to say nothing. And maybe it ain't even from this page. Maybe it was something else in life altogether. I don't know. But it was just really awkward. And I'm not going to say where, because I don't want to talk bad about a local business. But anyway, if you see me somewhere and you don't like me, then just say something. We ain't got to fight. We can talk. I mean, you have a much better chance of getting me to talk than fight nowadays. But anyway, with that said, we're going to wrap it up tonight. Support a local business. Vote against tyranny. And save Jackson.
Everybody's saying we have to vote in person.
Vote in person. Absolutely. I'm going to vote both ways. Well, I say vote both ways. I'm going to, if I get a mail-in ballot, I'm going to send it back in with my name on it. Voted. And then I'm going to go to the voting place.
Oh.
And they'll tell you, no, this is not illegal. They'll tell you if you're able to vote or not because they already have your ballot.
Okay.
So I'm going to make double sure that they have my ballot. My president told me to do that, and he would not lead me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to close with that. When did the men in this city become so perpetually offended
1990.
At who another man supports politically? So, sure, I get it, man. I openly do not support our mayor. I openly support our president. So therefore, I put all of my stuff out there. I don't hide any of that. Y'all know who I am. If you have followed me on social media for any amount of time, I have never... You have no doubts who I support politically and my political beliefs. I'm wide open. Yes. No closed doors at all. No. I'm an open book. So when you fast forward to this point in life, at this point in time, and you see something that I post that you disagree with on one of the Save Jackson pages, and you kind of come up like, Clay, you're showing your real colors now. Because somehow Trump got brought up. And I think it's like this low-key, as they like to say. They love to use the word low-key racism. It's like this low-key way of saying I'm a racist because I support Trump.
Without saying it.
So with that said, I'm not going to get into a whole conversation about this. We talk about it way too much on here. Could somebody just please, for the love of God, prove me wrong and shut me up forever and post something that Trump said that was racist?
Never seen it.
You don't have to do it right now. You can go find it on YouTube, Google, from a legitimate news source, preferably a video of the words coming out of his mouth that was anything racist towards anybody. Building, I'm not going to get into the semantics of saying that Mexico sends bad people here. They do. That's why Trump carries the Latino vote. Because most Latinos know that a lot of bad people come.
Rob says, I've been waiting for that for 4 years.
Me too. I mean, just show me. That's all I'm saying. Let's pretend that Mississippi is Missouri and it's the show me state. Just show me. Just post something.
Joseph says that's the thing. Nobody voting for Biden is actually voting for Biden.
They're voting against Trump.
They're voting against Trump.
I said that. Did I not say those exact words to you today?
Yeah.
You know, nobody is excited for Biden. They're just people that don't like Trump. And that's bad, man. Because Trump, if the minority community played the cards right on this, Trump is so desperate for your approval. Mm-hmm. You're like a bully that beat somebody up a bunch. You just don't know it. You've got the upper hand. He is so desperate for your approval. He wants you to like him so bad that he would do anything for you. Anything. If the right person was relaying the message to him. Mm-hmm. The Democrats just take you for granted. They know you're there. They don't care about you. Show me one thing that a Democrat has done for a minority in this country that has helped you and made your life better.
Rob said, a vote for Biden is a vote for half a century of zero accomplishment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, this goes back to what I say all the time. What do I say to y'all all the time? I feel like I'm telling y'all water is wet and the sky's blue. Just facts. I don't feel like I'm breaking any news.
Amanda says, show is better when your wife is on it, for sure.
It's 100% better. It's 100% better than Crystal.
Thank you, Amanda. That was sweet.
We were going to come on last night. I even told Crystal before I went to the gym, I was like, get ready. Let's do a show tonight. Mm-hmm. So I went to the gym. She got on makeup and everything. And I come home and I'm like, I stayed at the gym too long. I'm not going to do a show tonight.
I look really cute, too.
She looks really cute tonight.
I didn't. I looked way cuter yesterday.
A little. I'm kidding. You look really cute tonight. Mm-hmm. So she gets mad at me because we get off schedule. We would do it. One of us wants to do a show every night, but it's typically only about 2 nights a week. Is it the same night? So my plan is Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. I know everybody claims they're going to boycott the NFL. I know better. Monday Night Football we're going to miss. Thursday Night Football we're going to miss. Sundays, when we have an interview, we'll do that long-form interview. It will be live, but it's mainly so it lives forever, and you can go back and watch it at any time because of people's work schedules and stuff. But right, and then of course you have college football on Thursdays also. So the live feed will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday night for the high school football recap show and the regular Jackson drama, and then Sunday if there's an interview to be had. Mm-hmm. We may do the occasional Saturday night show, but I just think during college football season, people are going to have other interests.
Yeah.
You know, and I get that. I don't want to waste my time or y'all's. We may get into a late night college football recap. I don't know. We'll play it by ear. Let's see how it all works out, because football is going to be crazy this year with half the fans in attendance.
Somebody said, I don't watch sport balls anyway.
Well, there is that. There's a lot of people who have tapped out on sports, and a lot of people who don't watch sports. So
sport balls.
So we're gonna
watch sport balls anyway.
Sports balls. We're gonna take that into account. Look, this is a trial and error thing. We're still learning how to do this. Again, it works a million times better with a co-host, and when Crystal wants to do it, I'll do it, and we're not going to get better if we don't practice. So every night's practice. The more we get to do the show.
We don't agree about a lot, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we don't. I mean, that's what makes it good, right? Is you don't have to always agree with people. Mm-hmm. But it's coming to a mutual agreement to say, okay, well, you may be right about that. I may be wrong about this, vice versa. That's why I love our followers, because we're, with the exception of a few people here and there, we're reaching this point where people are getting to know that we're really way more in the middle than we are to one side or the other. Yeah. And you can have pretty good conversations with people who may be on not the same political side you are. Mm-hmm. And I love that, because I enjoy diverse conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
And when this election crap is over, we can all get back to. Well, I said this in 2016. I'll be glad when this is over, so we can all get back to just hating each other over college football. That never happened. Now it's just been this Biden, or not Biden, but this Trump or whoever else drama. I can't take it no more. I'm so tired of it. I mean, but I'm not gonna try to vote him out because it ain't his fault. Anyway, we're over. Thank y'all. Have a blessed night. Join the gym at Byram.